City of Manistee Historic District Commission. This is a meeting of Wednesday, April 3rd, and we're calling the meeting to order. And I'd like to invite everyone to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Is there a motion for the approval of the agenda? Oops, I'm getting ahead of myself.
Yeah, we'll
Let's
take
do the
roll.
roll call,
Okay.
Linda. Laura, please. Thanks.
Sure. Commissioner Stevenson is absent. Commissioner Hembolt,
Here.
Commissioner Taylor,
Here.
Commissioner Trucks is absent. Chair Kenny,
Here.
Vice Chair Quinn,
Here.
and our new Commissioner Kriskowitz is not sworn in, is absent. Roll call complete.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
In support, I'd like to open this up for a discussion, and I'd like to propose a 5-minute time limit for public comment on agenda items 6 and 9 for this evening, and carrying that forward on the agenda for the rest of the year. Is there any support for that? Any discussion? Support? Laura, will you please do a roll call?
Is that motion that you made?
One question. I mean, is it in our bylaws or anything about limiting comments or anything like that? Are we in conflict with bylaws or?
I don't know. I should review that. We should look into that to see.
Okay.
Yeah, I can do that first and then we can make a motion next time.
Yeah, that'd be
Yep.
the only thing I'm concerned with.
Sure.
And then just a quick, is that 5 minutes in total or 5 minutes per person?
Yes,
5 minutes total?
just for public comment,
Per
The
person.
whole public comment time period is 5 minutes or 5 per person?
5 per person.
Thank you. Okay.
You might want to make sure, that we're consistent, at least with the city council. I think they have,
I already
was it
checked.
3 minutes?
No, it's 5.
Okay.
It's 5.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
So the original motion is approval for the agenda as written, without the changes.
Correct.
Okay.
There's support from Ron?
Yes.
Okay, Laura, will you please do a roll call on that?
Sure. Commissioner Taylor,
Yes.
Chair Kenny,
Yes.
Commissioner Hembolt,
Yes.
Vice Chair Quinn,
Yes.
motion passed.
Thank you. Are there any members with a conflict of interest on the approved agenda? Hearing none, we'll move on to approval of the minutes for the March 6, 2024 meeting. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve?
Support?
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, Laura, will you please take a roll call?
Commissioner Taylor,
Yes.
Chair Kenny,
Yes.
Commissioner Hembolt,
Yep.
Vice Chair Quinn,
Yes.
motion passed.
Thank you. Are there any public comments on agenda-related items? Hearing none, we'll move on to new business. We have a memo from Teresa to make some adjustments under new business to our meeting calendar.
Yes, and if I could speak on that, after reviewing the calendar dates, a couple of them are on elections. That is the one for August. And also, I believe it's the other, was the election and then the other meetings. It's just been a little difficult for myself to have a county commission or a city commission meeting on a Tuesday night and then come here, have a Wednesday meeting, and then on Thursday night, have a planning commission meeting all in the same first week of every month. And so that's been a lot to do and to get everything prepped, and it'd be nice if I could stagger them. So that's something I'd like to review, maybe definitely change it and maybe to the second, third, or fourth week, starting in January, if we could think about that. But for right now, the rest of this year, I have August, September, and November, if we could change those dates.
Okay. Is there a motion?
I move we change the meeting days as recommended by Ms. Waldo.
Support?
Okay, I support it. Yeah,
Any discussion?
well, you know, most of us are retired, so it's not that big a deal. And I can see where, for you, it's all comes down at one time, and then you got 3 weeks where you don't have
Yes.
to do that.
Yes.
So yeah, it's a little bit of a problem for you.
Yes.
And for some of us, I can't speak for everybody, but it's not an issue for me, so.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I am not retired and I'm still working, and I have a monthly conflict with those dates because I have another meeting that's a standing meeting
On the
at
second
4 o'clock
Wednesday.
on the second Wednesday of every month.
Okay.
I probably can get out of them,
Okay.
but not permanently.
Right,
So
so,
that's, I can probably do these 3 because I have enough notice that I
Notice.
can give to the committee, so.
well, even if we want to have a discussion for, August, September, November, if we want to do the third Wednesday or,
Again, I think short term,
okay.
yes, my concern would be that if we switch it long term, I'm gonna
Right,
have to change
and-
something at work.
And maybe in January, or when we talk about this in December, we can think of, either, I don't know, different day or,
Yeah, and I guess my final thought is this something where like, we have a long history of always meeting at this time? Is the public, I guess, comfortable and familiar with the idea that we meet on the first Wednesday? of
Well,
every-
based by the number of people that show up, make a difference.
Yes and no. I mean, it's if it's always the same, it's like I think the council meets always the same, and it's
Right.
been doing it at least the whole time I've lived here. I don't know that we want to flip kind of just based on it, but Mark, the historian, might have something to say. Wait, I'm sorry. I actually can't recognize you. I think Catherine has to.
Mark, what do you think?
To go with what Angie was saying, in the past, since this committee began in 2007, up until probably the last maybe 18 or 19, we typically met at 3 o'clock on Thursdays. And then it was changed, I think, in part to coincide with my schedule, I think, that's how it was changed. Maybe in 18 or 19, but tell me what time you want to meet, and I mean, in terms of my time, tell me what time you want to meet, and I'll be here. So don't change. They didn't need to really change it based on that, but they did it as a courtesy. But because I'm at the museum on Thursdays, and there used to be somebody there to watch the place, and now there's not. But long story short, I can be here whenever you need me, so go ahead and have it whenever you want.
Thanks, Mark. So what I'm hearing that you can adjust your schedule for these 3 this year.
Right.
And then maybe we open it up for discussion for next year's calendar.
Sounds
Is
like a
that-
plan.
I think that sounds
Sounds,
lovely.
sound good? Is there a motion? Or there is a motion on the floor, and
there
there's
was support.
support.
There was
So, Laura, will you please do a roll call?
Yes. Commissioner Taylor,
Yes.
Chair Kenny,
Yes.
Commissioner Hembold,
Yes,
Vice Chair Quinn,
Yes.
motion passed.
Thank you.
we have to be an agreeable group today. There's only 4 of us.
Moving right along.
I know.
Okay, under old business, Teresa, would you like to speak with us about the shop at Heritage Square?
yes, 390 River Street. I spoke to the owner today, and he's working with Madeline Lamb on a design with the sign. He would like to present to us May 1st meeting, and I will put him on the agenda, and that's scheduled for that.
May I make a comment?
Yes, please.
So I have liked that on Facebook, and today he started an informal survey saying that, well, it's not going to be Victorian, folks, so are we still going to call it the Shops at Heritage Square, or are we going to change the name? And he's throwing out some different names now for his project, so I think he understands. And it may be because of your conversation, Teresa, but he understands it won't be Victorian looking.
Has he talked at all about any plans for the facade of the building? Because it looks horrible.
Yeah, no, and I don't know. I mean, we discussed that, but he said he'd like to get everything together first. We've been on him for a lot of detail on the inside, getting inspections. He's got businesses in there. We're getting the businesses registered. So he's had a lot to do inside. So but also needs to come here, and that's why I kind of put the date down. Let's have you come in.
Great. It's a big project.
Yes, it is. So,
Thank you.
yep.
Anything else about Heritage Square?
Just, I'm wondering if, since the others are identified by address, if you could.
Oh, that I should,
identify
for
by
address? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep, I thought of that afterwards too, yes.
Thank you.
Yep.
So next on the agenda is 457 River Street, which is the outsider.
Yes, so the Outsider had a ribbon cutting ceremony, which was on March 15th. And I know previously we had talked about that I needed to address especially the patio area and the seating area out there. I did get a hold of John, the owner. We've had some emails back and forth. He's not able to come today. I requested him and asked him to come today so we could talk further about that. I tried to make a meeting to go there. The general manager was going to be available, but they were really concentrating on that ribbon cutting ceremony. Also, there were some other issues that were going on that kind of took precedent before the patio right now for that area. I can't really go into more detail on that, but we needed to get those things resolved. And then I've not been back out. I was at a conference for 4 days, so I've not been back out there. He is aware of, we've talked about it at the Planning Commission, we've talked about it here. We've talked about, so I've got that right here. We've talked about painting. There was some discussion about the exterior paint, that maybe now they might have to change the color. And I said, wait a second, you need to come to us. Maybe we need to look at all of this again. So, and also he has submitted a signage or some awning and an application for certificate of appropriateness. I'm gonna hand that to Mark today for him to review. So that will continue to stay on old business for next month also.
Did
And
he pay for the application fee on the signage?
he said it was in the mail, but
Okay.
I can
And
give that to
also-
Mark, but yeah.
Because I think it does not comply with the guidelines for a historic district, that it should come before the commissioners,
Okay, well then I can have him,
instead of leaving it to Mark.
Mark. Okay.
Isn't that usually Mark filters it out, and if he says it's not, appropriate, it comes here?
Just so happens that I've already seen it.
I think there was an issue regarding some window signage?
Yeah.
Is this what?
Yep, actually, and I've got it right here.
Is this what
Yeah.
you're referring to, or is there something
Yes.
else on top of that?
No, it's the window.
Okay, it's the, I think there's some neon things, and he had emailed me to.
Good.
To go over that, and I did say that it should be brought to the Historic District Commission, and I was under the impression we were gonna discuss that today, but I guess we'll have to do it another time.
Well, thanks.
And I expected him to come and,
I know, I think I was in on a couple of those different emails and,
Right.
but yeah, anyways, so that's
Mark.
that's what it's regarding, so, yeah.
Appreciate that.
yes,
So will we invite Mr. Faber to come and present on,
May
Yeah.
1st,
okay,
yes.
great, thank you. Is there any other discussion about the outsider from the commissioners? Anything from you, Teresa?
Nope. Is
All
that-
right, moving on to 435 River Street, the Mathewson upholstery, which is, the violation, I believe, is actually on Oak Street, because his building
Is
goes
it?
around Oak Street.
Oh, the facade is on Oak Street.
Yes.
The property.
Oh, the address.
Yeah, so windows are on Oak Street.
The windows are on Oak Street.
Okay,
yes.
all right. Well, I have put a letter together, and our attorney Tim is reviewing that. So it also helped very much with Catherine working on the timeline and giving me that and reviewing the whole folder. So that was very helpful.
Great.
So,
Did the attorney say it's still in court, or was there some court
I've
resolution?
not heard, I just gave it to him on Monday, so, yeah. Because like I said, I've been a week behind with my conference
Not
and,
officially.
Not official.
It was discussed with the city attorney, but nothing was ever
I
done.
thought it went to court and they had some kind of a timeline.
and nothing that I saw, but,
I don't know that it made it that far. There is scaffolding, excuse me, in front of the windows.
Oh, good.
Like, it's not up yet, but it's piled in front of the windows,
Okay.
as if something may happen.
So we might want to inform Mr. Mathewson that if he's going to change the front facade, that
No,
he,
sorry, not the front, it's the Oak Street.
Oh, the Oak
right in
Street,
front of those
yeah.
windows that we've
Okay.
been asking him to replace.
okay.
he should probably renew his certificate, it's expired.
Yes.
Any other discussion about 435 River Street? Okay, we're going to move on to the permit review.
So the permit review, Catherine again was very helpful on giving me the Excel spreadsheet that is a lot user-friendly, and we can go over that. I've not had a chance to update it, so again, I'm a little behind on things, and I
know you got
apologize.
hands full.
Yes, so I need to do that, so for next time, that will be completed. All of them will be listed on there, and then we can close and review, and make sure that the ones that need to be closed out can be. So, yep.
Great, thank you. Okay, are there any public comments concerning items not on the agenda? Hearing none. Teresa, we're moving on. Have we received any correspondence?
No, we have not.
Okay, moving on to reports. We have a standing agenda item with the Main Street DDA Director, which is probably just DDA Director because we're no longer part of the Main Street, so
Okay.
we can take that off. I did speak with Carmen and Stacy at the Chamber, and they're working on that. They gave me contact emails for Teresa to keep them informed on what is going on, and we are going to meet with them soon and talk about how we can keep the communication open.
My only question, do we need a monthly report out from them?
I don't know, it's always been on the agenda though,
Yeah, I
so
know.
Yeah.
maybe quarterly.
Yeah, I would think that would be sufficient, I would think.
Sure, but we'll work that out with
Yep.
Stacy and Carmen, because I think it's also important that either myself or somebody from the board meet with the DDA quarterly, because we are wholly in the DDA district, and just to keep those lines of communication open.
Okay.
Okay, anything from the museum director?
I have nothing, thank you.
Thank Mark. And we could probably remove museum curator
Yeah,
off the
there was,
agenda.
There was a time when Steve Harold, who was, it's a long story short, but Steve would give a report and I would give a report, and Steve's no longer here, so you can probably just make that museum director. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, planning and zoning administrator, Teresa, that's you. You want to talk about the training tracker?
Yes, so I've been very appreciative with Lee and Angie and Catherine. They've just recently taken some classes. So anytime any of you take any classes, make sure that you get a hold of me, let me know. Now I've been able to update that, keep that current. So when I do the SHPO annual report, that's all on there and we can document that going forward. The next, I've got a training manual. So I came up with, Cheryl is new to the board, and I thought, well, she needs something, you know, to kind of welcome her and say, hey, this is what we're about. I also did this to my new member of my ZBA, and once I did that, talked to Catherine and to Angie real quick, and I said, you know what, I need to do this. So I went and found all these extra spare, recycled white folders, so everybody's is just a little bit different. In the inside of it, everybody's got their own tabs. I did not have time to do that for you, so that's there. It is separated by sticky notes. So I'm gonna pass these out to each of you right now, and then we'll just go over them real quick.
Thank you.
This is exciting.
Presents.
Okay. We don't often get real stuff, you know?
And we get to take it home.
Yes, that's right. And actually, all of these, I found a box, and I'm talking like this tall, a box of these, and I thought I'm never gonna use that many of these inserts. So, and there's 8 tabs of those. So yes, on the first page, it's the Michigan Historical District Commission Training Manual. I know that's 4 years old, 2020. But you have that you could just review the basics on, and I thought that would be great for Cheryl and for the new member. If you flip to the next little tab, I decided to make sure that everybody's aware of the Chapter 1280 Historical District in the Statement of Purpose.
Great.
Next would be the guidelines, and the guidelines, the number of pages just don't coincide with it. But after that, I've printed off each one of importance, so we have all of those listed, the awning, signage, doors, windows, air conditioning, murals, all of that. And then the last one is, I'm gonna have Angie talk about the last section that I have on there. She can,
Oh, I
Talk
kind of
about that.
talked about it informally before the meeting
I know,
started,
but go ahead.
Yeah, so one of the things that is preferred for the Certified Local Government Program, which is something that the Michigan State Historic Preservation Office offers for communities who have enough staff in place to really kind of give us more abilities to find funding, get training, and all those sorts of things. So there's definitely there's an advantage to being a CLG or having that designation. So one of the preferences that they have for organizations or communities that have CLGs is that someone who is a qualified professional sit on their commission. And those are people who have training and experience to do basic historic preservation activities such as writing a National Register nomination, preparing a historic sites and structures inventory survey, if we're thinking about or contemplating any new districts, doing the federal reviews that have to happen of historic resources before a project can go forward. So those are the sorts of things that qualified professionals know how to do. I know how to do that because I used to do it with my old job a long, long time ago. So I took the time and I got recertified to be a qualified professional in the state of Michigan. But what's cool about this list is it gives us a wide variety of names. And honestly, this is a piece, Teresa, that I think you can use when you have
Yes.
anyone in the commission or the district coming in saying, okay, well, I want to do it right. Who should I contact? And now you have a list of people who can help with
Yes,
that. So,
absolutely. So I appreciated that. That's why I printed it off right away today and put it in the packet.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, and tell us what page you're on.
I'm on page 21.
There we go.
I have to tell you, it's kind of funny because they don't tell you that they added you.
Oh,
I had no idea.
Nice. Congratulations. I am so proud of you. Thank you for doing that.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I think it will be helpful for us.
yeah. Well, also grants, I mean, there's all kinds of opportunity, and this is great.
Yes.
Yes, to
So
have
it
that.
says that Angie Quinn, sitting to my left here, is an architectural historian and historian.
I qualified under both of those areas.
Fabulous.
So I'm not an archaeology person, and I'm not necessarily a structural person. So don't ask me if the joists have the right load. I don't know. So, but yeah, I can do that. Wonderful.
So next on the reports is guest speakers.
So yes, a little excited about this. I sent an email to Alan Higgins, and I invited him and asked if he would come and be a guest speaker for us in, let's see, what months were they? August or September of this year. I figured for one, it'd be maybe August or September, nice weather out, he could come see. Asked him if he'd come, and right away, within like an hour, he responded back and said, absolutely, he'd love to come. So I want to just read this little bit from the email. Hello, Teresa, thanks for the invite. We will be able to make that happen. It would be good to visit as our new community preservation coordinator, who will be ultimately be taking over the CLG program, is starting late April. Late summer would be a good time for us to introduce her to the group and visit with everyone. Let me check back with you after she starts. Can't wait to meet you, and I will follow up.
Fabulous.
Yes,
That's awesome.
yes,
We can take them on a little tour of some of our historic sites.
yes, absolutely. And I've also included Mark in this.
Great.
Yes, yeah.
Wonderful.
So that'll be nice if he comes from Lansing and also brings the new coordinator. Yeah. And then the next, I just would like to hear some possible other guest speakers. I'd like to do that every now and then, have a guest speaker come in, and if, do you have anybody of interest, or?
I was talking with Sammy from Manistee Tourism, and she is interested in making a presentation on the Historic Sites Tour.
Wonderful.
And if you could reach out to her, Teresa, and see if you could coordinate a time that would be convenient.
Yes, absolutely. That'd be great. Is there any other suggestions or anyone else?
You know, I'm trying to think of the kind of trainings that I participated in when I served on the Fort Wayne Commission. And I don't know how involved we get with these things, but, you know, is it possible that we could have someone show us how to inspect a window to determine whether or not it actually needs to be replaced? Or, you know, how to tell what, I don't know, in historic paint finishes on an exterior, or, you know, I mean, there's those kinds of hands-on things, and I don't know that we have to address those very often, but if we ever someone coming before us and say, well, I have to rip off my awning because it's leaking, you know, how do we determine whether it should be ripped off or repaired? You know, I mean, there's
Right.
just lots of different examples
get
of things like that. I don't know how hands-on we want to get, though. I mean, but I just remember doing some of that stuff when I was in Fort Wayne. But other things like, I don't know, nothing comes to mind. Sorry, I'm trying to come up with something and nothing's happening.
I particularly don't want to get that far in the weeds,
Okay.
because I have no expertise in that. And I would rather, you know, put some trust in the building owner and explain why he or she thinks this needs to be done, and present something to us.
Well, we will, next month, we will have a contractor builder on the commission, so I think that will help also.
Right.
Because he'll have some expertise. But as far as choosing paint colors, I think a lot of that goes through the historic, the museum. I think Mark approves a lot of that. Mark, can you tell us how you decide whether a paint color is appropriate or not?
I do have a historic paint,
Like a chart?
charts at the museum. Typically, if it's been an issue or it's been a problem where, hey, you know, I think I always reserve the right to bring it to the commission if it ends up being, someone wants to paint it canary yellow, it'll be coming to you, you know. That's typically how it's been done. If you want to be in control of that, by gosh, by golly, go right ahead.
Guidelines state that you can't do any fluorescent colors.
Yes,
kind
yeah,
of thing.
yeah, typically, yes, yeah. And
We do have guidelines.
Yeah, but it mostly has more to do with the placement. So canary yellow can be perfectly lovely. It's one of the trim colors, but not.
you know what I
necessarily
mean,
the
yeah,
body color,
yeah,
right?
I'm not, yeah.
You know what? I have a friend who helped people, homeowners and business owners pick paint colors for years and years and years. He's retired now. So I mean,
He might be a good
just put
person.
Because it might be fun just for us, and that could even be one that not only trains us, but can train the community.
Sure.
However,
I have no
however you want to
idea if I
work.
can convince him to come up from Indiana, but you know, well, that's a possibility.
Well, maybe you can share his information with Teresa and,
Emails
Disgusting.
first
Yeah.
and see whether.
We got somebody from Lansing, why not Indiana? No. All right.
any other reports from you, Teresa, under that agenda item?
Nope. I hope you enjoy your books.
Oh, thank you, yes. All right, do any of the commissioners have anything they would like to discuss at this time?
No,
Just really quickly, put it on your calendars if you haven't already. The tour of homes that the Lakeside Women's Club organizes every other year of historic buildings or houses in and around downtown Manistee will be held on July 20th this coming year. Great way to
Thank
see
you.
interior residential things and
So is that on a website or a Facebook, or how will that be?
it
Advertised.
It will be.
Okay.
It'll be on a
All right.
It'll
website.
be on a website and on Facebook.
Okay.
In the newspaper and stuff too.
Okay,
Yep.
great,
Yep.
but good, thank you.
And I would also like to bring up 431 River Street. We have a potential sign ordinance violation that was discussed at last night's city council meeting, that it's a violation of the historic district guidelines. So I think that's something that we should add to our agenda for new business. There are windows, there are signs displayed in the window that don't advertise items within the business.
Where is it?
And
what business is it?
431 River Street, it's the Gold and Silver Center, this exchange.
Oh,
Yes. And the signs, according to our guidelines, are not to be in the window for longer than 60 consecutive days. They've been there all summer, and they also mislead, interfere, and confuse viewers, and they're not advertising on-premise business. So those are things I think that's already being sent to the city attorney, the city manager's reviewing it. But they are using our guidelines, so I think it should be on our agenda. Any other discussion? Is there a motion for adjournment?
so moved.
Support?
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Hey,
Meeting
Mark.
adjourned. Thanks, Mark.